Mandy Botsko-Wilson. I am VCDX number 189, and I'm here in honor of Women's History Month to have a little chat with one of our other women VCDXs, Phoebe Kim.
Hi, Mandy. Hi, everyone. My name is Phoebe Kim. I'm VCDX number 288. So I guess talking about, women and technology and being that it is International Women's Month, right? So Mandy, were you the first woman to get a VCDX?
Well, no, I actually was not the first. I was the first to work at VMware, but the first woman to earn her VCDX is Willie Lee. She was number 44, and she lives down in Australia. What VCDXs did you get? My understanding is, Phoebe, you've got 2 VCDXs, the first woman to achieve that. And I believe you did it all in 1 calendar year. What are your 2 VCDXs in?
I mean, you make it sound, crazier than it actually was, but I did my first VCDX in network virtualization track, and then another one in last December in data center virtualization. So I know it's 1 calendar year, but technically, I did it a year and a half, with the documentation. So you make it sound too crazy. How about yourself?
That's really good. You did one in, one you defended in January, the other in December, but it sounds really good, 2 in 1 year. That's pretty impressive no matter how you cut it. I think, my VCDX was in the cloud management platform. So between us, we have, 3 out of 4. We're just missing EUC. Are you going to take that one on, or, are you leaving that to me?
Oh, no. That's up to you. Not mine. I'm not in that world. But yeah, so I think there are 6 women or so out of 292 VCDXs, I believe, right?
I think that's right.
Yeah, so why do you think that number is so small?
The number of VCDXs in the world is a pretty elite group, right? We're sub 300, but yeah, only six women across that. I think the reason, you look at that, there's multiple factors. There is, there's a pipeline challenge with women in technology. When you look at, for example, in the United States, the percentage of computer science degrees earned in undergraduate that are earned by women are only 20% of all those computer science degrees. So there's definitely a pipeline problem, but we also really see, looking across the board, that women are much more likely to be involved in software development. They're more likely to be developers than they are to work, in data centers as infrastructure. And, while VMware, of course, is a software company, we're really virtualizing that infrastructure. So I think that plays a role in why we have so few women as well.
That's really interesting. I mean, I didn't know any of those facts, so that's really new to me. I know there's less people, less women, let's say, in universities and stuff, right? I don't come from a computer science background. I did industrial engineering, so yes, there were still less women, overall in the engineering school, and then I guess, you don't have to be coming from a computer science background to be in technology, right? There are different ways. And I started off in tech consulting. I didn't just start off being like, oh, I'm going to be in a data center and know what NSX does, right? That wasn't in the plan or anything. But I did tech consulting, learned about VMware from one of the customer who actually was a VMware shop, although I was doing ERP system for them, and then I guess here I am, VCDX and everything. It's just kind of crazy how, your life turns out. But I mean, how did you become a VCDX and, get into VMware overall?
Yeah, you know what? I've got kind of a similar story in some ways. I also do not have my undergraduate degree was not in computer science. I went to a liberal arts college and did a bachelor majoring in religion and women's studies. So, I mean, seems like the furthest thing from computer science, although I had a real joke going for a while early in my career, right? That you needed to make the right sacrifices to the computer gods to get your software to work. But for me, it was something I got into, right, on getting a job out of college. And then one thing led to another, and I was developing databases, and then that led into a job developing software. You know, that startup company failed. And so I ended up at another small startup, which ultimately was acquired by EMC, which then was acquired by VMware. And then next thing you know, I'm doing cloud management, and the VCDX was on the table. So I really followed a non-traditional path as well. You know, to get from, you know, where I was to end up, you know, in infrastructure too. But, you know, now that I have my VCDX, what I like about it is that maybe because I come from that non-traditional background and never having really worked in a data center, is that now I have this credential that I can use really to wave, right, and say that, see, I am a design expert. I do know this. You know, I find sometimes in meetings, you know, it can be maybe a little misunderstood what my role right at the table is. So I can say, look, I'm a VCDX in cloud management, and we can just jump to the chase then and not spend a lot of time proving, you know, our qualifications other ways, but get right to the heart of the matter and start talking architecture.
Yeah, no, it's interesting you mentioned that, because like for me too, after I got my VCDX, I feel that I don't know, I guess it's not like people didn't respect me before, right, in a meeting or anything like that. It's just like that subtlety and difference of attitude, I guess, from certain some people. And also I think personally for me, like it was a great learning experience overall. You know, I didn't get it just so I could, it wasn't just like a checkbox thing. Like to me, I learned a lot in the process. I know that sounds cliche, but you really do. And so I think it helped me with my own self-confidence, to be honest, to like have a seat at the table and feel like, oh, like I can be here because like I am a VCDX, right? And it helps with that kind of like imposter syndrome, I think that a lot of people struggle with as well. So, I mean, remember that like, what is it? The VR8 workshop we did before, right? You know, like that was a really big customer. And I remember thinking like, I don't have a VCDX in cloud management, but like, I still am a VCDX, right? I have the overall architectural knowledge, and I felt like I can actually contribute and help the customer. But yeah.
Yeah, I think you're right. You know, that customer was a little challenging, right, in terms of pushing back right on the expertise. And I think having the foundation, like you said, going through the process of VCDX and taking that architectural mindset around those requirements and the assumptions and the constraints, right, you can translate that, even though yours was not cloud management, right? Mine was, but you can still understand exactly that same framework, whether it applies to cloud management or networking or, you know, the data center. It's all the same kind of structure that gives you that foundation to stand on, no matter what the technology is that you're working on and what the solution is. And well, you know, we all know that cloud management platform really encompasses all of them, right? You have to have some of the networking and the data center, right, around that in order to get to cloud management. So you've got 2 out of the 3 elements. You know, you're almost there on cloud management. When are you going to do your triple, Phoebe?
I'm a little busy. I know you heard the barking in the background. I have a 5-month-old puppy, so I think that's my project this year.
All right, so you did 2 VCDXs and got a puppy during a global pandemic. So do you really think it was, do you think it's harder to have gotten your VCDX, your second VCDX, or to raise that puppy? Which has been more difficult?
I mean, honestly, the first week I got the puppy, like before he was potty trained, I almost gave up. Like I thought like this is the worst decision I've ever made in my life. You know, I almost wanted to take him back or sell him or something. But after the first week, he got potty trained. Thank goodness he's a little smart, right? And then things got a little better. So I would say hardest was the first week with him, and then the second VCDX, and like now, which is, a little easier. But yeah, I don't know. This year, I think I'll focus on him a little bit, right? It's his first year. He's still cute and does all the cute puppy things. But maybe, I'll get into like Kubernetes. I know that's like the next big thing, or has been a big thing for the last couple of years, and I haven't had a chance to look at that. So that's on my radar. And yeah, so I don't know about the third VCDX, but you can do the UC one. I mean, what's next for you?
Yeah, well, I don't know if I'm ready to dive into the UC really. I'm thinking what I really want to focus on are SaaS solutions, right? I already have dipped my toe in, of course, because bureaualized automation is in cloud, and then there are, all the other SaaS opportunities we have. So I'm going to focus on SaaS and how we build overarching solutions across our SaaS portfolio. And I think that, having the VCDX, and like I mentioned, earlier, having the VCDX gives us that foundation to build the solution regardless of what the technology is. Do you see that the VCDXs that you currently have will help you as you dig into Kubernetes, which seems, far away maybe from DCV?
Yeah, no, of course, especially, with vSphere now, with Tanzu services and everything, where we're supporting Kubernetes, right? And containers overall, I mean, that's where the application development is going. So in the end, I mean, I don't know about VMware, but I know, like, for example, Google thinks everything's going to be containers one day, right? And hey, it might happen. So I know that for now, the infrastructure needs to support anything that anyone wants to do, right? So I would think that DCV should come in handy.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I mean, we can look at the cloud, we can look at SaaS, we can look at containers, but in the end, you always need an infrastructure to support it. So, I think that's absolutely foundational. Well, thanks, Phoebe. I appreciate you chatting with me today in honor of, the Women's Month. And it's great that we were able to get the two VCDXs who are women that work for VMware in a room. And I hope we'll get to chat again soon.
Yeah, sounds good. Thanks, Mandy.